You're going to need an assortment of wrenches, sockets, small pry bars, a screwdriver, and the alternator. We'll start with removing the battery terminals, positive and negative terminals. They're marked by the red being positive and the black being negative. Start by disconnecting the negative side first, then the positive side. When the battery terminals are loose, take and set them out of the way where they will not contact any metal. Now the battery is disconnected. Next, you want to come over to the alternator, which is on the passenger front side of the vehicle. Take off this 10mm harness bolt, this 10mm harness bolt, that alternator main lug, and disconnect the plug down here. Once the harnesses are removed from the alternator, you can see it's clearly within view. Let's move on over to the washer pump, reservoir, power steering, reservoir. Let's remove these for more access. As you can see, with the reservoirs removed, I can push the power steering pump reservoir out of the way, allowing us access through here later on with the alternator. Let's work on getting the serpentine belt system loose and removing the belt. We'll have to go down on the tensioner. I believe it's a 15mm. Let's loosen it and see. Okay, so correction, it's a 14mm. And you're going to need to get a socket on there on this top idler pulley. Right on that nut right there. A nice long breaker bar or ratchet will do, and you're going to go back towards the firewall, towards the windshield. Alright, let's go ahead and do that and get this belt out. Okay, so I released the tension off of the belt and only removed the alternator pulley side. I left the rest of the belt intact, in place, so that you don't have to go ahead and try and reroute it. Now let's work on removing the two alternator bolts that are left. One right here underneath this bracket, and one down here. Once the alternator bolts are free, you'll wiggle it loose from the ear down here. Be careful not to bang up the radiator and poke a hole in it. And you will bring it out through and underneath this coolant line, right in through this passage, up and out. Installation will be the opposite, back in. Alright, once the alternator is free, you can see the ears there. Bring it out through here. It was kind of a tight fit, but it did come out, so the vehicle does not have to be lifted off the ground. Compare your old one to your new one. They look exactly the same. Let's put it back down. Once the alternator is back down, sit the lower bolt just into the mounting hole. So that you can wiggle the bracket down and get it into place. After you get the alternator secure, go ahead and route the belt system back up. Hook up any of the necessary wires to the alternator. Reinstall all the reservoirs. Start it up and check to make sure your battery is charging. Once everything's secure, double check everything. Make sure there's nothing loose. Make sure all the belts are in the grooves. Go ahead and recheck everything. Install the engine cover and start it and see if the battery light goes away. Here we are inside the car, about to start it and see if that fixed the problem. See the battery light? We'll see if it goes off. And there it is. The battery light went off. That means that everything is good.